What's up, sister? It's your girl Danielle, and welcome back to the Pretty Powerful Podcast.
Have you ever listened to a podcast where the person literally sounded like an alien? Well, you're in for a treat because I was getting ready to upload this podcast episode today, which I'm so excited for you to listen to because the message is powerful. And when I listened, I heard two spots that you will recognize where I literally sound like an alien. I don't know what happened, but we are going to roll with it because nothing in life has to be perfect. Am I right or am I right? So I was about to scrap it and redo it, but I thought, nope, this was good. The message is there, and you can handle hearing me sound like an alien for less than 10 seconds, right? I hope you enjoy. Maybe you'll have a little laugh. Anyways, enjoy this episode. Thanks for being here. And enjoy the alien.
Yo, okay, I just had the weirdest, most magical, fun experience, a full circle moment that I gotta share with you because if you will do what I did, I think that you will see similar effects. Here's the dealio, all right? Put on one of my favorite tank tops just yesterday because I was like feeling it, you know? I was getting ready to go teach. I teach group fitness classes. So my class yesterday was turbo kick. So it's like fun, punch, kick, cardio, kickboxing style, but to like some fun music. So of course you twerk it. Well, I twerk it sometimes. You know, it's just a lot of fun. It's loud music. It's great. One of my favorite classes ever to teach. So I was getting ready and I'm like, okay, what's the vibe? What am I feeling like wearing today? And so now let me also be very honest. Main reason for this choice, second main reason for this choice was because the rest of my clothes were dirty. Okay, I just got back from traveling, so I haven't even unpacked my suitcase yet because who does that right away? And if you do, don't come for me. But so just full transparency, okay? So I was limited with my options. However, I did have a great option, which was one of my favorite new tank tops that I just got from Love Her. And it was on sale, even better. But the quote on it was what I was going for. So it says, "The world needs you." The world needs you. And I was like, I love this today. It's the vibe that I need. It's you know, sometimes you just need your clothes to tell you what to think. You just need your clothes to tell you what to do. You know, the motivational quotes, I am here for it. So the world needs you. So as I was driving to my class, it takes me about 45 minutes to get there. And I'm driving and I'm like, you know what? The world needs you. The world needs you. And I just keep repeating it in all different ways. The world needs you. The world needs you. The world needs you. The world needs you. You know, I just had like a whole vibe going. And I just kept repeating it. And I was like, okay, I feel like there's a message here that I need today. So I kept thinking it. I kept saying it. I'm like, okay, the world needs you. The world needs you. The world needs you as you are. The world doesn't need you to show up as somebody else. The world needs you. And so I kept thinking about this and I'm like, okay, but who do I need to be for the world? And I instantly stopped myself and I said, that's the wrong question to ask. I need to stop asking myself, who does the world need me to be? Who does my class need me to be? Who does my family need me to be? Who does, you know, the girls on my girl empowerment program, who do they need me to be? No. I need to stop asking, who do they need me to be? Because when I'm trying to show up and be who they need me to be, I'm not being me. And if the world needs you, then you have to be you. So I just kept thinking that to myself. I'm like, okay, the world needs you. Stop asking yourself who you need to be for everybody else, right? Because especially when I go into my group fitness classes, I think, what do they need to hear today? What do they need to feel today? And I think this every single time I go into my class because my desire is that I truly help people transform their lives, that they make fitness fun and they enjoy the class and they leave. And that is a ripple effect for the days to come, that they remember that class and they remember how they felt and they can pour, you know, they can just lean into that when times get tough, when they don't feel like it, they don't want to move forward, they struggle, and they don't think that they can be who they want to be. I really want them to lean into that. And so I really put it on my shoulders that when I go into every single class, it's not about the workout. It's not about me being their instructor. It's really about how can I help them transform their lives. And so it comes from a place of true desire to help women love their bodies and step into their confidence and enjoy fitness. So it comes from this positive place, but if I am trying to be who they need me to be, I'm losing out on who I am. Right? I'm not focused on me, I'm focused on them, which sometimes can be a really positive thing. But in this moment, I was like, you know what? Maybe that's the message. The world needs you. And if I keep trying to show up and ask, who do I need to be for them? I'm missing out on pouring it and really standing in my power of who I am. And maybe if I pour in and focus on who I am and who I need to be for me, maybe the impact that I make on my class, in my programs, with my clients, with my family, maybe the impact would be even bigger because now I'm being more of who I am. And maybe that's what the world needs. Yes, I had this whole motivational pep talk with myself in a 40-minute ride to my class. That's where my thoughts started going. I was like, okay, I'm gonna record this right now for my podcast. But then I started recording and you could hear me driving and I was like, I gotta be safe here. So I decided to wait and share this with you today because it's the important message that I know we all need to hear. Stop asking yourself who you need to be for them and ask yourself, who do I need to be for me? Because the world needs you at your best, doing what you need, feeling how you need to feel. Yes? And when you're showing up into the world as that version of yourself, the you that is the most you empower and inspire the people around you to do the same. And guess what? Your energy increases, your excitement increases, your power, your confidence, your joy, everything just elevates so high because you are standing in who you are. Here's how I know that to be true. I went to my class, okay? So I had this whole little pep talk and I'm like, okay, be you. What does that mean for me? Now, I also should share with you that when I go to my class, I don't prep anything ahead of time. I literally show up to class and I get a vibe and I decide through the class how I lead the class, what workouts we're going to do, what music we're going to have. Now I choose the music ahead of time. So I'm like, okay, how can I prepare for this to be the most me? I'm like, I need the right playlist. So I am listening to my songs as I'm driving. Choose a playlist. Got it. All right, this one feels like me. This is like, oh yeah, girl, we about to get down. You know what I'm saying? Like that one song comes on and it's supposed to be like 4 punches across and like, doing like fitnessy things. And of course I'm just like, ooh, that's a good drop it like it's low spot. You know what I mean? Drop it like it's hot. Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting this vibe and I'm like, okay, this is my jam. This is good. Okay. I go into class. What do you know? New people are in class today. And if you're a group fitness instructor, you know how exciting that is. You're like, yes, new people. This is so fun. Our class is growing and new people get to experience this and it's so fun. And so I'm like, okay, this is a great sign. We got a full class today. This is great. I'm feeling good. And then I start just doing things that I haven't done in a really long time, but are just so me. Right? I do the twerk. I twerk it sometimes. I turn around in class. I'm yelling at them. I'm jumping. I'm doing, like a whole new level. And I end class ends, at the end we do our stretch. So it's calm and then everyone's quiet. And it's a Monday anyway. So everyone's chill. And as soon as we end, one of my girls that's been with me for a long time, she says, that was one of the best classes that you've taught. Like, that was so good. And then everyone started chiming in. Oh my gosh, it really was. That was so good. We worked so hard. That was so good. That was so much fun. And I was like, really? Because I didn't feel like anything changed. Nothing changed. The playlist was a little different, but for the most part, the beats and everything are the same. The punches and the kicks are all about the same. They go in different, different times and stuff, but for the most part, most of that was the same. Nothing dramatic happened. Nothing dramatic changed. But what had changed? Well, I'm going to share that in a second, because again, they just kept throwing all these things at me. And I was like, man, you're going to give me a big head if you don't stop, because you're giving me all these compliments and I'm loving it. Like, keep them coming, Like, as a group fitness instructor, it just feels so good when someone was like, yes, that was so good. And when your whole class started saying that, you're like, man, that's awesome. Like, this is why I do what I do. Thank you so much for giving me. Now, I don't need that validation from others, right? I can validate myself, but it feels really good to have that validation from others when you pour so much into it and you just see it from them and you feel it from them. And then one of them said, yeah, Danielle, you are so rowdy today. Rowdy. That's a word I've never been called before. And I was like, ooh, I was rowdy, huh? That's like, okay. She was like, yeah, and when you get rowdy, like we get rowdy. And I was like, okay. That's really great. And she was like, can you remember all of this for like the next class? Like, are you going to remember all the choreography? Are you going to remember everything you did? And I said, of course I'm not. I just came up with this during class. I'll try my best. I'll use the same playlist and I'll try to make it happen again. But here's what I know to be true. I showed up to that class thinking about that quote that was on my shirt throughout the entire class that said, the world needs you. I wasn't trying to be the best fitness instructor, although a lot of times I really do put that pressure on myself. But I wasn't trying to be that. I wasn't trying to be a motivational speaker. I wasn't trying to be a cool human. I wasn't trying to be anything other than me. And so I asked myself, who do I need me to be today going into this class? What do I need from me? And I needed that extra hype. And I needed jumping a little bit higher. And I needed to be pushed a little bit harder to challenge myself. And I needed to act a fool and let loose. And so I showed up to that class being truly me and doing what I needed to do for me in that moment. And what happened was that because I was so me and doing what I needed, I gave the rest of the class an experience that they are obsessed with, that they loved, that brought them joy, that brought them excitement, that brought out their own ability to act a fool and laugh and have fun and push themselves to the next level, right? Because not only were they telling me how fun this was and how rowdy it was, but they were also telling me how hard it was. And we often think that those two things go against each other, right? How can you have so much fun and also feel like something was so hard? They feel like they would be on opposite ends of the spectrum, but what we found in that moment was that when we push ourselves, when we challenge ourselves, and we work really, really, really hard, we also do it in a way that is fun and joyful and makes ourselves feel really, really proud of ourselves. And I can tell you that class wouldn't have happened the way that it did if I didn't go through that whole mind thing. I'm just going to call it a thing. This whole mind thing as I was driving there thinking, okay, the world needs you. But the world doesn't need you as somebody else. The world doesn't need you to pretend to be something else. The world doesn't need the you that you think everybody else wants. The world needs you. The world needs you exactly as you are. And the world needs you to ask yourself, what do you need in this moment? And how can you show up for you? Because when you show up for you in a big way, you show up for others in an even bigger way. So I want to leave you with this. The world needs you. But what do you need from you today? And instead of like every other day where you ask yourself, how can I be a better mom? How can I be a better sister? How can I be a better spouse? How can I be a better employee and a volunteer and a business owner? Instead of asking yourself, how can I be better in all of these roles? What if instead you say, how can I be a better me? Because when I'm a better me and I know what I need for myself, and I lean into that and I step into who I am, I automatically become better in all of those other areas of my life. Your kids don't need you to be the best mom. They need you to be the best you. Your employer doesn't need you to be the best employer. They need you to be the best you. Your spouse doesn't need you to be the best spouse. They need you to be the best you, because when you're the best you are the best at every other role, because you are who you are and you're standing in your power in that moment. So I want you to imagine you have that shirt on today. It's a black tank top. It has red writing and it says I just forgot it now because I've said it so often. The world needs, and that's written in red, and then the you is written in white. The world needs you. And I want you to imagine right now, you put that tank top on, you're rocking it, you're like, yes, girl. And then you step into that next, wherever you're going right now, whether it's to work, it's to work out, it's to being a mom, it's to doing the dishes, it's to going shopping. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're going right now, you have your tank top on. Ask yourself, who do I need to be for me? And do exactly that. All right, sister. That was my experience. That's the tank top, and that is the message of the day. And I hope that you will remember this, and I hope that you will use this as you go through and remember that the effects of this new mindset, the mindset shift, is so powerful, and it will impact positively the humans around you just like it did for me. So remember, my friend, the world needs you. Now go stand in your power and give you what you need. You are pretty powerful. Never freaking forget that. And I'll see you here next time. Bye, friend.
I'll remind you at the end of every single episode, you do not owe the world pretty, but you do owe yourself to step into your personal power, because you, my friend, are a powerhouse woman. Go out and prove it to yourself.